The Star of Rhodesia is one of the most famous of the Earth's treasures. First touched by the fingers of the humble Kaffir, it would have been better had it never been found. For all those who possessed it came to sudden and violent death. Our story opens in London, within the sound of Bow Bells. In the shadow of Tower Bridge is the carpenter's shop of Mock and Son, coffin makers.
A beautiful job, if I may say so.
You'll be sure to have it at the undertaker's in time.
Of course.
The Scotch Express leaves Euston Station at 7:30 tonight. That leaves very little time for the arrangement of the body.
Your mother, is it not?
Yes.
You are taking her to Scotland?
Yes, Edinburgh. Her home. Oh. Thank you. Rather a nuisance. Traveling by train. Ain't it?
Off it, Jill. Go on, get on about your business.
I'm terribly sorry. Mr. Holmes?
Hello.
I was afraid you wouldn't get here in time.
I was studying the faces of our fellow passengers. Fascinating hobby, and sometimes most enlightening. Lady Margaret is aboard the train, I presume?
Oh, yes, Mother's expecting you. I've reserved a compartment for you and your friend, Dr. Watson. As a matter of fact, it's in this coach here, just ahead of the luggage van.
Day coach?
Yes, the sleepers are all taken. Mother wasn't interested in a bed so much as she wasn't getting to Edinburgh.
So naturally, it wasn't very difficult to persuade her to travel in a day coach.
Exactly. It had been open to take on additional passengers.
So I observed.
I say, it was awfully decent of you to come, considering the fact that I was so secretive about it all.
My dear Mr. Carstairs, there was no need for secrecy. I already knew.
You knew that Mother insisted on bringing the Star of Rhodesia with her to London?
And that while here, an attempt has been made to steal it.
Did Scotland Yard tell you that?
Oh, no, my dear Mr. Carstairs. But the fact that your mother owns the famous diamond is common knowledge. She came down to London to attend the reception of Buckingham Palace and quite naturally wore the Star of Rhodesia. You want me to accompany you back to your home in Edinburgh. Therefore, an attempt must have been made to steal the Star of Rhodesia while you were here in London.
It seems simple the way you explain it, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'll wait here for my friend Dr. Watson. I can't think what's keeping him.
Mother and I will be expecting you. Oh, could I take this for you?
Oh, I'd be much obliged. Thank you.
We'll be in compartment E.
Yes.
Ticket, please. Here's your carriage, sir.
Well, 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 look who's here. Inspector Lestrade.
Why, Mr. Holmes.
Taking your trip, Inspector? Fishing, eh?
Bit of an holiday.
Ah, that's very nice. Trout?
Huh? Oh, yes, yeah.
Rather large rods for trout, aren't they? Salmon, perhaps?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm going mostly for the rest.
As a matter of fact, you're on a job for Scotland Yard, aren't you?
I trust this is the right carriage.
This is where we take care of the overflow, sir.
Oh, I see.
Porter will take your bags.
I'll carry this myself if you don't mind.
Ready to go, sir.
7:30, eh?
We always leave on time. Mind your head, sir.
Watson! Coming, Holmes! Watson! All right, Holmes, they're coming! I beg your pardon. I beg your...
Thank you for your timely assistance. Really, Watson, aren't you a little stopped for this sort of thing?
Rubbish. Ideal weight for a man of my age. Ran into an old friend of mine, Duncan Bleak. Later the 12th Indian Lancers, or Major Duncan Bleak, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
How do you do, sir? Delighted. I've heard quite a lot about you. India, eh? Retired 15 years ago.
As a matter of fact, we were reminiscing about India. Didn't realize how late it was. Stays light so long these days, we almost missed the train.
So I've heard.
In here, sir.
Right.
Thank you. Doctor, would you care to join me in a glass of whiskey and a dash of soda before dinner?
No, man, it's a good idea. What's it all about, Holmes?
Did you ever hear of Lady Margaret Carstairs' famous diamond, the Star of Rhodesia?
There was something in last week's text about the old girl being in London with the bauble, wasn't there, Holmes?
Yes, there was. She's on this train. That's why we're here. To see that this bauble, as you call it, gets safely back into its vault at Edinburgh.
Sounds to me... Pardon me. Sounds to me like a police routine job.
That's where you're wrong, old fellow. An attempt to make away with it in London was unsuccessful. The second attempt will, in all probability, be made on this train.
Well, what makes you say that?
Well, it seems more than likely that the people who planned the first attempt will not be discouraged by one failure and will stop at nothing to ensure success the second time.
Sounds like Lestrade's cup of tea to me.
Lestrade? He's on this train.
Oh, is he?
Giving an excellent imitation of Isaac Walton.
I beg pardon, gents.
So come in, Mr. Holmes.
My friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
How do you do?
I thought it better to engage Mr. Holmes after what happened in London.
No doubt you're an efficient person, but I don't think there's any need for a policeman.
Policeman?
How long have you been in possession of the Star of Rhodesia, Lady Margaret?
25 years.
You know, it may seem strange to you, but I've never actually seen it.
I suppose there's no harm since we're paying you to guard it.
Mother.
Yes?
May I?
Do, by all means.
Thank you.
Great Scott.
What a remarkable stone.
My husband gave it to me on our 5th wedding anniversary.
423 carats, isn't it?
The original diamond was over 700 carats.
Yes.
Your father had it cut, less ostentatious.
Ostentatious, as big as a duck's egg.
Watson, please.
Sir?
Thank you, Lady Margaret. We'll be as unobtrusive as possible.
That will be a novelty from a policeman.
Now, if you wouldn't mind telling us where our compartment is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, thank you. Lady Margaret?
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Impertinence. She called us policemen.
And what's wrong with being a policeman?
Oh, hello, Lestrade. Where are you going?
The inspector's going to Scotland to fish for salmon.
Oh, really? The season doesn't start for another month, but you wouldn't know that, would you?
Who says I'm going to fish for salmon?
Who? Him.
Excuse me, please.
Police.
Police? Here? On the train?
Scotland Yard, I heard. I warned you.
Oh, Mr. Holmes? Yes. This way, please.
Oh, there you are, Holmes. Try some of this curry. It's excellent.
Steak and kidney pudding, please.
Of course, the Bengal curry doesn't compare with that of Madras. Though it's the quality of the mutton that makes the difference, don't you think?
The meat's unimportant. It's the spices that make the difference. Don't you agree with me, Holmes?
What?
I said we were discussing curry.
Oh, yes, curry. Horrible stuff.
Oh, really? One man's meat is another man's poison. Oh. Oh.
There will be 2 of us, steward. My son will be here directly.
dear fellow, I still insist the unpolished wild rice does make a considerable difference to a good curry.
Well, I still can't agree with you.
Take care of this for me, will you, Watson?
At your offer.
That was one of them.
Was young Carstairs in the dining car with you?
No, Lady Margaret came in alone.
Well, I was in my compartment just now having a bite to eat, and I heard a crash in here.
Crash?
It's locked. I knocked and there was no answer.
So you just stood here twiddling your thumbs. Brilliant. Attendant, will you please unlock this door?
I'm sorry, sir. It's
This is Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard.
That's all right. You can open it.
Very good, sir.
Well. Dead.
Murdered.
That's a bit quick, isn't it, even for you? Is this the,
Yes. Star Rhodesia was in this box not 45 minutes ago.
How do you know?
I saw it.
Well, it might be here somewhere.
No, no good looking for it, Lestrade. Killer's got it.
Ah, there you are, Holmes. How about joining us
Take
in
a
the
look at this body, will you, Watson?
Body? Good Scott. How do you know it's murder, Mr. Holmes?
Murder? Oh, I say.
Who are you?
Major Duncan Bleak, a friend of Dr. Watson's.
Oh, well, what makes you so sure it's murder, Mr. Holmes? The door was locked.
Every attendant has a key.
Did you open this door for anyone during the last hour?
No, sir. Was the key ever out of your possession?
It never is, sir. It's on a chain.
To me, like heart failure.
Uh-huh.
Any marks of violence on the body?
None that I can see.
Seemed to have missed it this time, didn't you, Mr. Holmes?
Possibly. Still, if it was a natural death, it came at a very convenient time, didn't it?
Hmm?
What does this mean? Star of Rhodesia. It's gone. You were supposed to guard it. My son employed you. That's why I left it with him. Where is he?
I'm sorry, Lady Margaret. It was thoughtless of us to let you come in like this. You an empty compartment?
Yes, sir.
Then I think we'd better, if you don't mind, Lady Margaret, please.
Poor chap's mother, I presume.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the bottom of this. Excuse me, Doctor.
Poor chap, he was so young. It's such a pity. I've sent for the conductor, Lestrade. You want to talk to him, and I've asked that no one be allowed to leave this coach.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. Shall we use my compartment?
Thanks.
Attendant. Yes, sir. Lock that door and let no one go in without my permission. You understand?
Very good, sir.
All right.
Sorry, old man. Official police business.
Well, that's all right. I'll catch up with you later.
Are you looking for the Scotland Yard inspector, sir?
Why, yes. Right in there, sir. Thank you.
Come in.
Sorry, sir. No one's allowed to leave the carriage. Can't leave the carriage? Whose ridiculous idea was that? Scotland Yard.
You see, we don't stop until we reach Rugby.
That's right, sir.
Good. We'll have a thorough search of the train made before that time.
Find the murderer, Inspector, and you'll find the diamond.
But we don't know it was murder.
Consider the facts, Lestrade. Young Carstairs was dead when the jewel was taken. Otherwise, he'd have put up a struggle, and there were no marks of violence on the body. If, however, he died a natural death, we must assume that the thief happened to be on hand just at the right moment, which is outside the realm of probability. No, Lestrade, in this case, nothing was left to chance. That's why I say find the murderer and you'll find the diamond.
How do we know the thief didn't leave the carriage before we discovered the body?
The attendant was in the corridor the entire time, and he's certain that no one passed into the dining car. The door at the other end leads into the luggage van.
Which is always locked.
Oh.
You found no marks of any kind on the body, Watson?
No, none of any significance.
Not even a scratch?
Well, there was a small spot of blood on his neck, just a mere speck.
That's what I was referring to.
You mean that scratch killed him?
It's possible the poison that went into the wound did.
Poison?
Well, we can't tell that without an autopsy.
Have you got a list of the passengers in this carriage? Yes, sir. There you are, sir. Thank you. Major Duncan Bleak. That would be your friend, Doctor. The next compartment's empty.
Where we took Lady Margaret after the murder. You remember Lestrade. Go on.
Vivian Vedder, Inspector Liston. That's this one. Lady Margaret Carstairs and the Honourable Roland Carstairs. Professor William Kilbane, Mr. and Mrs. Alfred Shawcross, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson. That would be you two. Well, I think I shall ask a few questions. Vivian Vedder. We'll start with her, whoever she is. Vedder, compartment C. Oh, here we are. Empty.
Say, Holmes, are you going to let Lestrade handle this thing by himself?
Well, after all, he does represent the official police, you know.
Well, with him doing the questioning and looking under the seat cushions for diamonds, we won't know any more than we're through than we do now. I could do it better myself.
Why don't you, old fellow?
Huh? By Jove, I think I will. Probably find out just as much as Lestrade would anyway. I'll do it at once. Oh, that's where we just came from. Locked, huh? Oh, the bloody is. Well, I'll start with this one.
Yes?
My name's Watson. Dr. Watson.
Oh. To what am I indebted for this intrusion?
I'm afraid I've got to ask you one or two questions. What you're doing on the train, where you're going, things like that, you know.
Why?
Customary. There's been a murder committed. Scotland Yard, Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes and I...
What about Sherlock Holmes?
We're cross-examining suspects.
Suspects? Of what am I suspected?
Oh, the fellow's dead. Murdered, you know.
Now, let me get this straight. You say a murder has been committed on this train?
Next compartment.
And because a perfect stranger to me got himself murdered, you come to question me?
Well, we've got to question everybody.
Are you a policeman?
No?
Then by what right do you force your way into my compartment?
Well,
What are you doing on this train? Where are you going?
Not going anywhere. Holmes and I are on the train to watch the...
I know. It's a diamond or a pearl or something of fabulous value. This fellow Holmes is always chasing after missing jewels or mysterious females.
What is the meaning of this?
I'm sorry, Miss Vedder, but it was necessary for us to search your compartment.
Indeed. May I ask what you expected to find?
A valuable jewel has been stolen.
And a man has been murdered.
We're making a routine search of the entire carriage and asking a few questions.
Go right ahead.
I understand your journey is rather a sad one. Your mother...
Yes.
Perhaps we'd better not question Miss Vedder just now, Lestrade.
Eh?
Excuse us, will you?
What's the idea, Mr. Holmes?
It's a matter of taste, Lestrade. The young lady is taking her mother to Scotland for burial.
In a coffin?
That is the customary method, I believe. Lestrade, I think we'll take a look at that coffin. Might prove interesting.
I was about to suggest that very thing myself, Mr. Holmes. Conductor, I'll have a look in the luggage van.
This way, sir.
But I am Dr. Watson. Dr. John H. Watson of 221B Baker Street. Retired. My friend Sherlock Holmes can vouch for it.
Your alibi isn't worth a Scotch party. just told me that this fellow Holmes is a crony of yours. Naturally, he'd lie.
I resent that, sir. Sherlock Holmes is a very soul of integrity.
Might even be an accomplice. Why, if I were a policeman, I'd take you in charge this very moment.
I didn't do it, sir. I swear I didn't do it. I can prove it.
Prove what, Ocean?
Oh, there you are, Holmes.
Now get out of here and join your silly friends.
Did you discover anything, Watson?
Yes. He's a very suspicious character. He tried to put me off the scent.
From the little I heard, he seemed reasonably successful. Look here, you're not going to let an old fellow like Professor Kilbane discourage you, are you? Why don't you try this one?
You think I'd better?
Yes, of course.
All right. Do you mind if I come in?
You may.
Thank you. I'm sorry to bother you, but I represent the police.
I knew it. Alfred, I told you.
Told him what?
Well, it's quite all right, Inspector. I'll confess.
Confess? You mean you stole it? You've got it in there?
Yes.
No. Leave it where it is. I'll go and fetch Inspector Lestrade at Scotland Yard. And don't either of you attempt to run away.
Oh, no, Inspector.
Is this door always kept locked, Conductor?
Yes, sir. Only the guard and myself have keys.
Got them, Holmes.
Oh.
The thieves.
Thieves? Well, come on, speak up.
That married couple down there.
Mr. Sherlock?
Yes, I confessed.
Confessed?
Broke them down. Gave them the third degree.
And you left them unguarded?
I told them not to run away.
We'd better have a talk with them.
Oh, it's you again.
It might interest you to know that I've just caught the thieves.
Excuse me, madam.
You're the police, I know. I warned him, but no, he had to take it.
Well, I must warn you that anything you say may be used against you.
Anything they say. They've already admitted everything.
Everything?
Yes, they've got it in there.
I'd be glad to pay double what it's worth if only they won't prosecute. It's my first offense.
You chaps always say the same thing. Come on, hand it over. Where is it?
I stole it. I took it from a hotel in London.
Come on.
In my small way, I'm a collector of teapots.
Teapots? Dr. Watson, does this look like a diamond?
Not very much, now that you mention it.
Well, what's all that about a confession?
Well, when I came in here before, they said that they took it.
Well, you'll please oblige us, Doctor, by not meddling in police business.
His time wasn't entirely wasted, Lestrade. At least you've recovered the teapot.
Thank you, Holmes.
Teapot.
The fellow tries his best. What's he get? Humiliation, abuse, and the start of all people. Good man to chuck up the whole case.
Might be a good idea to let the police do their own work.
You mind your own business.
Oh, there you are, Watson. How about a spot in my compartment?
Thanks, old man. Serve them right if I got a bit tiddler.
I suppose you realize you'll be turned over to the police as soon as we reach Edinburgh. Dr. Watson, teapots.
Well, I beg your pardon, Professor Kilbane. You're in the next compartment, aren't you?
I am.
I'm afraid we'll have to ask you a few questions.
Now, don't tell me that you're going to start.
You mind?
Well, of course I mind.
Come on, in you go.
A brilliant mind, but there have been times when...
When your scientist's mind has shown him the way.
Exactly. You take the death of young Carstairs, for instance. I knew from the first it was poison.
The scientific approach, of course.
The murderer used a hypodermic. Some rare poison from South America, probably.
Or India.
Yes, India.
I've been to India. So have you.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Well.
You've been in here.
I don't like your attitude, Professor Kilbane. I don't like it at all.
Perhaps not. But I'm on this train for legitimate reasons. And I've neither the time nor the inclination to assist you with your work.
You're perfectly within your rights, sir, and I'm sure that Inspector Lestrade appreciates that.
Thank you, sir. Now, if you've no objection, I have some work to do which requires concentration.
Mathematics?
Yes.
Interesting study.
If you don't mind.